Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to lettering class number 12. This is Coco, my co-host.
Hi.
Tell them about our picnic we just had.
Well, we just had a picnic with the nations.
With the nations. Keep talking.
We got to see them, and we set up chairs, and we sat in the back of our car and just talked. And then my brother mooned them.
Yeah. I wasn't going to tell them that part.
Oh,
we had to get one of the kids had to get a spanking because he mooned someone, the nations at the school, which was awesome. So it turns out if we've been cooped up in our house long enough, when we get out in public, we don't know how to act. So Judah mooned someone. So that happened. But it was fun to get to see some friends because we were feeling a little blue. These are the clothes that I literally slept in last night. I just rolled out of bed, and this is my hairdo. Day number 72 of quarantine. No, actually, I don't even know what day this is. I've lost myself.
6.
And yesterday we found out that we will not be going back to school. And after I went outside and screamed for a second, actually I didn't, but I didn't know what to do with myself. So how do you let's do your interview where before coronavirus, what would you have done? Hey, do you like school? How's it going?
Well, sometimes it's a little hard, but yeah, it's fun. My teacher's really nice, and I just don't really like literacy.
Okay, and now after coronavirus, hey, what do you think about school?
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. It is so awesome because we get to get away, and I just love it.
Get
and
away
it's
from all
so awesome.
Yes. So, yes, we are feeling that we need to get away, have our moments by ourselves and enjoy school. So now we have a new appreciation for school, so that's good. And today I really did have a moment in my closet of just crying out to the Lord, literally, because I just feel this heaviness and, Lord, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can be able to homeschool and be able to help people and reach people and encourage people. And so I just had this weak moment. And so I flipped over. I was just thinking about how God provides, because we went, what day was it? We went to pick up eggs at the supermarket. It was like this weekend.
Yeah, it was
all the
Saturday.
days are running together. So we went to pick up eggs at the supermarket. There were no eggs, and so I was thinking, okay, we just can't, we can't bake, we probably eat about a dozen eggs at least a day. Eggs in the morning, and then a lot of them like to boil eggs. So anyway, I was like, what are we going to do? We have no eggs. So I called a friend. Her husband literally brought over, I don't know. It was a lot of eggs. He works for a company that has eggs, and so he brought us eggs. Then after that, another person brought us 2 flats of eggs. And then after that, this morning, another friend who has chickens brought us 3 dozen eggs. And I just think that is God's over and abundant provision. He just wanted to show me that, Tanner, look, when you don't have eggs, when you don't have what you need, I'm going to overly and abundantly provide for you. So I was reading in Genesis 22:8, whenever Abraham and Isaac are going up the mountain and they are getting ready, Abraham has been told to sacrifice Isaac. And Isaac all of a sudden is like, whoa, Dad, you forgot the sacrifice. Abraham says to him, God himself will provide a lamb. And then in the thicket, when they get up there, in the thicket, caught in thorns around his head, that's where God provided a lamb. God provided a ram in the thicket. You can see it in the next verses. So today we're going to be drawing this. God himself will provide a lamb, because obviously this is Easter week. And this was not a great week for Jesus. And then it turned out great because he rose from the dead. And so while I was in Israel, I bought this painting while I was there. And it's just a lamb in his arms. And so we are going to draw something similar to this. And then we're going to do some lettering around the head of the lamb. So I'm going to walk you through that today. Coco, will you pray? Will you pray for our teachers and just that God would give them sustained energy?
Yes, ma'am. Lord Jesus, thank you for all of the blessings you have given for us today, Lord. Thank you for all of these things you have provided, Lord. You are the provider. Thank you for all of the things, Lord. Please help the teachers, God, the teachers who are working so hard, Lord. Just keep your hand over them. Mm-hmm. Make sure they're healthy and well. Just help this world, Lord. Just help the fires and all of the bugs in Africa. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay, so hopefully you have your paper, and we're going to be working with it a long ways today. So watercolor paper, cardstock paper will work, and then we are going to get started. So let me flip my camera around. This is my hard part.
Wait, can I say hi to Gen Nation?
Yeah, say hi.
Hi, Gen Nation.
Hi, Layla. This is my workspace. You can see it's definitely not perfect. It's not the prettiest. Okay, let's see if I can get this going. Oh, there we go. Okay, so here we go. We got our paper, and I'm going to clear it. Look, Coco even made me a cup. Mom is the best. This is, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. Okay. And I also got a few great suggestions. So if you have more suggestions on verses, we are going to do, I need all the suggestions. And so please feel free to send me your suggestions when it comes to what we're going to do. Let's see here if I can, I'm trying to zoom in. There we go. Okay. So we're going to start. Perfect. Also, Coco pointed out, I forgot I had these. We have these watercolor brush set. I just got them off Amazon a long time ago. I've never actually used, well, no, I'm sorry. I've used them, but they're not my favorite, but it might be a good place to start. So Coco's going to show you how to use them today. But it's a good little tool, kind of like our watercolor pencils. I just prefer the watercolor pencils better. So we're going to start with our little lamb's head. So we're just going to do a little half circle, and because a lamb is furry, it's not going to be a crisp line. And then we're going to bring his ear out over here, essentially like a little triangle, and I'm going to bring a line in right there. This is going to be the inside of his ear. And then right over here, I'm going to come out again with kind of a little triangle. Again, it's not going to be perfect. We don't want him to look exactly like Yoda. Hey, sing your song from camp about Yoda.
Yoda. Wait.
What is it?
Yoda. They say his friends are mean. Yoda. He smells like gasoline. Yoda. He rhymes with soda. So let's have soda with Yoda today.
Thank you, Brook Hill Camp, for teaching us fun songs. I love it. So this is going to be the little lamb's eye right here. What? So I have a little lamb's eye. It doesn't have to look like an eye right now. We're just kind of sketching out little lines. Then we're going to bring down his nose. So his nose line is just going to come right here, right down a little curved line. We're going to start up here, curve in, and then curve out, and then a little triangle at the bottom for the other eye. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, I'm going to bring another eye over here. Let's see here. And again, we're not going to do perfect eyes. That part is not what we're focused on today. We're going to bring his neck down. And then, so his eye comes down over here. And then a little right out above his nose, this is going to be his back. So essentially he's kind of turned. I'm going to show you this picture again so you can see where we're headed. This is where we're headed. Now, it's not going to look exactly like that because that's a different type of painting. They used watercolor and we're going to be using, they used oil and we're going to be using watercolor. So we're going to bring his leg down, and his lamb legs are going to be skinny little lamb legs. And then we're having, we need a hoof at the bottom. Okay, so a sharper line at the bottom. And then we're going to bring another one over here. Down. It was so nice to see our friends. We were definitely feeling so gloomy. So I highly recommend some parking lot. I'm having a technical difficulty here. A parking lot parade. That was really fun. Picnic. Parking lot picnic. Okay, I'm going to switch. I'm switching to a watercolor pencil just because that's what I have on hand, and my other pencil's not working right now. So we're bringing this around. So here is his little body. Now we're gonna, it's okay. We have time. So right here, I'm gonna come and this is gonna be an arm. So I'm bringing a sleeve down and a sleeve over here. And I'm gonna do a hand. So if you need to like look at your own hand and how that's shaped, we're going to come up a little bit and then out for the thumb. And again, we're not going to make this perfect. So I'm gonna essentially make a one-fingered hand, if that makes any sense. I'm not gonna define my fingers on my hand. I'm just trying to mostly mimic that there is a hand there, okay? And then over here on the lamb's little tush, we're going to do a hand again, kind of like a little J, a little flat J. And then we're going to come back around, and again, I'm going to kind of make like one-fingered hand, if that makes sense. So this is like the pinky finger. I'm going to bring one line in there just to show it's a pinky finger. And then bring it down, and then he's got a sleeve coming down right here. So again, we're just showing that this lamb is in some arms, just like we are in the arms of Jesus. Okay. So with my watercolor pencils, I can help you, Coco, if you want. I'm going to color in kind of where his sleeves are. His sleeves are right there surrounding where he's holding the lamb. And this is just going to be shadows, okay? So I have my watercolor pencil, and I'm just coming in here, and I'm going to do some light shading. So whenever I apply some watercolor, it's going to shade what I already have done. So I'm shading here on this side. So essentially, we're going to act like the sun is coming from this way, okay? So we're going to do our lettering first before we do our water on top of here. So Coco, do you think we should use watercolor pencils? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll do some watercolor pencils on this. Let me get my wording out. I have to just see the wording. And so I have my Bible out. Genesis 22:8, God himself will provide the lamb, that he is our provider in this season. That looks great. That looks really good. We'll just do a little shading right here. Can I show them yours? Is that okay? Okay. Okay, God himself will provide the lamb. So let's get out. You know what? You can use watercolor pencils if you want. I'm going to go straight with watercolors for my lettering. So Coco, what color should we use? What's our main color going to be today?
I don't know.
You want blue? Okay, I'm going to go with blue then. Okay, here we go. So on my first word, God himself. So I'm going to just follow these lines right here. Just pretend this is one line that we're following with our words. Okay. God. I'm going to do a cursive, almost like I was a kindergarten teacher. Or I guess, no, when do you learn cursive? Third grade, sorry, third grade teacher. I'm going to make a little curly Q up here on my G, just for fun. And then on every downstroke, I'm going to thicken it. Okay, I'm going to thicken what we're doing, where we're going with this on the downstroke. That way it looks like we're doing it with a calligraphy pen. God himself. Okay, I didn't quite make that loop well, so I'm going to come back and fix it. I'm excited because tomorrow is supposed to be beautiful, and we are going to go swimming, even though it's not quite warm enough. God himself. Okay. Coco, you let me know if I misspell something. That is something I've done frequently. Okay, so I'm going to come back and thicken those lines. On my I's and my T's, sometimes I come around and I'll add just a little bit of loop right here to kind of make it look like my brush automatically did that. But I don't do it on the first round. So sometimes you'll see something lettered beautifully and you'll think, man, I can't believe they did that all in one swoop. Some people, maybe they do, but I cheat. I come back and I fix it afterwards. God himself. And sometimes on your downstroke, how I tell you to, double up that line, if you have a space that is in need, like if you have an L or an E that's too far away, it doesn't have to be your downstroke. It can kind of fill that void if it needs to be the upstroke, if that makes any sense. We want to just make it look balanced. God himself will. So I'm just going to go with God himself will up on top, and then down below, I'm going to write the rest of my verse. Will. I think they're doing a little bit of gymnastics upstairs. Okay, will. So then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to say provide the lamb is actually the wording. How appropriate. So provide. I would love to know if you have any exciting Easter plans, because my mom asked me last night what my Easter plans were, and I was like, I don't know, watch church online and maybe do an egg hunt. And so I am in need of, usually we're with a bunch of people, and so I need some at-home ideas. Okay, so right here I've used a block lettering, and I'm trying not to get too close to my hand, but I got kind of close right here, just on accident. Now, for the word the, I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to do just a little fun curly Q right here in the arm space. And another one that kind of runs parallel to that. And this is going to be my word the. And I'm going to follow those parallel lines to write the lamb. And then for my last word, if you're using watercolor pencil, please just stick with that. But if you're using your brush, I'm going to get, if I can find one, there we go. Just a little bigger brush than what I was using. This is just a tad bigger. And so I'm going to do my lamb word just a tad bigger. So my provide goes this way, so my lamb, I'm going to try to make it go this way. It may not be perfect, and that's okay. Provide the lamb. And if you want to switch to do cursive right here, you could. That would work just as well. It might even work better because you could kind of fill it in these little areas better with curly Qs. Okay. God himself will provide the lamb. So essentially, if you wanted to draw like a little pencil line right here as a straight line, you could follow that. But then I kind of went up. I was just trying to bring it back up just to balance what I'd already done. Okay, now on the lamb part, on provide, I'm going to come back and I'm just going to thicken. I'm going to turn my paper sideways so I don't accidentally, it's got a little wet on the bottom. I'm going to turn it sideways just so I don't touch it, and I'm going to thicken those lines, just the down lines. That one is not perfectly done, but we'll run with it. Okay, provide. Coco was a genius, and the other day she set up a Zoom call with all of her grandparents. It was really, really sweet, a Zoom meeting. I was really proud of that. And the grandparents loved it. Provide the lamb. And on lamb, I'm going to come back again with my smallest brush or watercolor pencil, and I'm going to make little ladders. So I added a parallel line. This one got a little close right here. Try not to do that. And then I'm going to make a little ladder right inside here. And my tallest right here, I just made a large cross on this line just to add a little bit of depth to those letters. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the A, making crossbars. And as you can see, they're not perfect, and that's okay. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing a verse, I think out of Esther. I got a great idea from a friend to do a verse out of Esther, and I'd like to be able to give it to teachers. So whether you have a teacher you could give it to, or if you're homeschooled, you know, give it to someone that you know who is teaching and not used to teaching from their home. So get ready and have somebody in mind. Okay, right here for the B, I have made this too close, this little ladder. So on the B, I'm going to make my little ladder on the inside of my B. Again, that was because I made a mistake, and I'm just having to try to creatively solve it. But so you don't feel like you have to do that, just know that it can be done, and nobody will really notice that you made a mistake. You could probably do I could probably do an extra ladder over there, but what do you think? What do you think, Coco? Should I do one right here? Maybe. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Now I'm going to come back in with about a 1/4 inch brush, and I'm going to paint in what I've already done. So I'm going to do the hands a brownish, tannish color, and bringing that in to show hands, trying to make it look sort of like flesh tone, a light tan color. That one's a little yellow. I would probably go ahead for the hands and use a small brush and do it in watercolor, like this one. Okay. And then I would like to make the lamb as pink as we can, and then we're going to make the sleeves and around him blue. So I'm going to bring in a little peach on the lamb's. What, love?
Do I just use
Oh, here. Here you go. I'm going to bring a little peach around the lamb's face, and then right here. So I'm using a light peach, and then I also have a white that I'll kind of mix in. But just for coloring factor, I'm going to use mostly peach. And the fact that some beautiful child has come into my paints and painted my white is a lovely color of green right now. I believe that might have been Judah. So with the painting of the lamb, I'm going to come and I'm just going to make him as blotchy as I can to hopefully resemble some form of wool. And remember, you're wanting to shade. We did a little bit of shading earlier, and we want to kind of bring in some of those spots where we've brought our shading in. We're going to highlight him in a little bit, but right now we're just shading him. So with the peach and then the white. Okay, there he is. And I'm going to bring a little bit of black in on his little hooves right now and his nose. And then this eye, I'm going to kind of darken with just a little bit of black. Doesn't need to be too much. And kind of to shade him over here again, because we talked about how the sun was coming this way. And then under his ear right here, this just needs to be a little darker to show a shadow. Okay, now I'm going to bring this same color that I've used for the lettering. I'm going to use a little bigger brush, and how we've kind of done a color wash before, I'm going to do it again out here. So essentially, the sleeves are not just the sleeves, it's going to be the entire outer portion of our painting. So if you are wanting to use, if you have a different color that you're wanting to match whoever you're giving this to put in their house, feel free to get it. Purple would look good. I do think a lighter color is best. I'm going to go over that spot on the sleeves that I've colored in already with my watercolor pencils. I'm going to come around. Again, we're going to try not to touch our lettering, or we're going to try not to touch our little hands and our lamb. So, and the key to this washing is adding water. So you start with the color out here, and then you're just going to add water and bring that color all the way in. And it helps it blend so well. So make sure you have enough water to add it. I did see, I've had a few people tag me in some photos, and somebody sent their some of their paintings to people who work at Compassion International. And anyway, it just made my heart so happy. Just people thinking, I feel like in this season, when people know that they're thought of, it means even like that much more. Loving people when it's hard. J.O.'s teacher, I mean, all the teachers have been phenomenal, but I was just listening to J.O.'s teacher as she let every child share something, just anything, and just so they know that they're heard and loved. And it was so encouraging. And I was telling her that I feel like right now is whenever people's true colors come out. And I was like, girl, your colors are lovely, because it's just refreshing to see people being so kind in the midst of hard times. If you have a small business owner friend, I think this would be a great one to just send them a picture of what you've done. Just that we could be reminded that God's going to provide even when it doesn't make sense and the news is not good, that He is going to provide. Okay, so this is what we have so far. And we're going to come back in. My lamb is still pretty damp, but for sake of time, I'm just going to show you a little bit of what we're going to do. I'm going to bring a teeny tiny brush and put a little bit of black on it. And I'm going to come and just kind of highlight areas of the lamb. And again, we don't want a straight line, because no lamb is going to have a super straight line because he has wool. So I'm just kind of curving this around, working that paint in. We're just more so defining our painting. So I'm going to, on every line that I've already made, I'm going to try to just highlight it with black. It's probably not the word. Outline it with black. So you see right there, it bleeded just because it's a little wet. So feel free to do this portion when it dries a little bit. I'm just doing it now so I can kind of show you. Okay, so here's his little wool. Here's his face and his nose. I'm going to bring his little nose down. Head and his ears. Make sure and get under the ears just to show that shading. And I'm going to do some eyelashes like my lamb's eyes are closed. Okay. So there we go. God Himself will provide a lamb. Here, this is what we have so far. And then, let's see here. I'm going to just sign it with a pen because that's what I have nearby. Make sure and sign your work. Let's see. God himself will provide the lamb. I hope y'all have a great day today. We love you.